absolute value equations and inequalities. Remember, absolute value is that distance away from 0. So we want to find a number for each of these that makes it true. You remember with things like absolute value or square root, when you're solving those kinds of equations, you always want to isolate first. So let's divide both sides by the 2. And we get x minus 3 equals 5, that absolute value. Now you could think this out in your head. Obviously 8's one of the answers. But you could also get a negative 5 in there. So negative 2 would be another answer. So if you want to, you can try it that way. Or you can write it out into a compound equation. So we'd get x minus 3 is 5. Or what if that whole x minus 3 was negative 5? It would still work. So here we'd add that 3. And here we'd add 3 again. And you'll get those same 2 answers. So you can try thinking it out in your head. Here again, to isolate, we want to add a 2 to each side. So we get x minus 3 is greater than or equal to 5. Now where's that distance greater than or equal to 5? That would be any number beyond 5 or any number lower than negative 5. So we get greater than 8 or less than negative 2. You can graph that answer. So we've got greater than or equal to 8, less than or equal to negative 2. So any of those numbers in here, like 10. 10 minus 3 is 7. The absolute value is 7. 7 minus 2 is greater than 3. A number like negative 4. Negative 4 minus 3 is negative 7. Again, the absolute value is 7. 7 minus 2 is 5, which is greater than 3. You can do your interval notation. Remember, we use a bracket. That's union with 8 to infinity, or you can use the word or. And then the last one is a less than. This one's already isolated. I don't have to divide or add or subtract. But again, when is that distance less than 1? That would be if 2x plus 1 is less than 1 and it's greater than negative 1. So I go ahead and solve that, subtract the 1. And it's greater than negative 2, so it's greater than negative 1. Now where are those numbers? Less than 0 and greater than negative 1, that would be between negative 1 and 0. Any of these numbers in here, or you could write it as negative 1 up to 0. So if you are doing greater than, that's or. Remember we talk about this as being greater, turns into an or. And this one here, if it's less than, think of that as less than. And that one becomes an and. And just be careful, if you're isolating something and you had, say, an equation like negative 2 times x plus 1 is less than 10. When you divide by that negative 2, that flips your sign around, and so then you're dealing with an or. And actually this is another case on its own. Where is the absolute value greater than negative 5? All the time. So that would just be all real numbers. Okay, that's it.